All right, ladies and gentlemen. So if you are just tuning in, this is a rematch between Caeltos and BC. Basically what happened was Caeltos mopped the floor with BC. BC is the chosen one from Relic Entertainment, and so we're going to hype this up a little bit. It was fast enough that we want to have a second game and see what happens here. So let's see what happens here today. On the north, in the northern position here, looks like BC is going to try his hand today at the Imperial Guard. He is spawning in with the Lord General, and he's got his starting squad of guardsmen. And on the southern side, and it looks like Caeltos swapping it up, picking the Chaos Sorcerer as his commander. So Caeltos is going to be the blue Chaos commander, and we've got BC playing today as the red Imperial Guard commander. And once again, this is a Relic versus the community game. This is a show match put on basically to promote the launch of this game. So welcome everybody, and I'm glad to have you all out there. We've got like just over 3,500 people viewing this right now. I am Harlequin. I hope you guys are having a great day, and let's see some of this early Sentinel play coming out right now from BC. So we've already seen this a couple of times. This seems to be the trend, all in vogue right now with the Imperial Guard players. So it looks like BC is going to go out there and get some harassing right now with his Sentinel. And right away you can see that Sentinel is definitely going to have a pretty good job at harassing these heretics. Heretics are going to quickly try and engage in close combat, but they know a little bit better than that. That Sentinel is definitely going to ground pound them a little bit. Oh, and look at this. Because he is playing as the Chaos Sorcerer, he can worship and infiltrate his units a little bit. Just kind of playing some head games right there. And we have a moonwalking Sentinel right now. I can just tell BC is just chomping at the bit right now. He's got his micro completely on tack. If you look at the northern part of the map right now, you can see BC has already capped his power node and has already thrown down 3 power generators. So he has a perfect build order in mind. I can't wait to see how this is going to turn out. Right now, Chaos Space Marines moving towards the center right now, and pretty much a little bit of a variation in his build order right now. It looks like Caeltos opted to get 2 squads of Heretics first and 1 squad of Space Marines. A lot of times you see people get 2 squads of Space Marines. Some recent changes have made, people have varying opinions on that build order, but I don't care. I'll go with whatever. On the northern position here, we do see sort of an epic fist fighting going on here between the Chaos Sorcerer and the Lord General, and it looks like the Lord General is just kind of resupplying some of his troops right now, but the Chaos Sorcerer just kind of hacked down his entourage quite a bit, and you can see him just kind of charging on in there, trying to do some damage. Meanwhile, on the southern side of the map, the Sentinel is just stomping away here. Boom! Moving right on in and knocking down those Chaos Space Marines. But as you can see, the Guardsmen got quite wounded by that conflict, had to retreat as well. And really, that was just kind of covering a retreat there. So that big old Sentinel goes stomping away. Oh, and the Chaos Sorcerer is just kind of zooming on in right now, trying to catch up to that guy. But of course, the Sentinel is quite speedy. Just kind of following that action at the meanwhile, and we'll see here. No units out for BC right now. I'm very surprised by that. He does have early power, but I would have at least expected a second Guardsman squad out of him. So we'll have to see if he has anything planned otherwise. Meanwhile, on the right-hand side, I know I say meanwhile all the time. People always yell at me for that, but I got my own little mannerisms. Oh well. I live with them. My brain is just set in its wiring. So we've got our Sentinel moving here to the north. Sentinel putting a little bit of pressure on these worshipping heretics, but notice those worshipping heretics right now are able to conceal the Chaos Sorcerer, kind of granting him an infiltrate ability. And as I've mentioned in other replays, stamping his foot down on the ground. As I mentioned in other games, different commanders allow these heretics to do different things when they worship. So just trying to hide his Chaos Sorcerer for a little while there. Looks like he's taking quite the beating, and we have some Catachan Devils out right now. They are being upgraded right now with a Demolitions Man, and we'll have to see what those guys are going to do. They're kind of like a Special Forces squad type guys. They are jungle fighters, that sort of thing. So Sentinel now moving out, being very aggressive, being backed up by this Guardsman infantry squad. But you can see, by the way, that Caeltos upgraded his heretics to have this grenade launcher upgrade, giving them those grenade abilities. Oh, man! And once again, I think that was a combination of things that just happened right there. I think one of the Chaos Heretics exploded in a Doom Blast right as the Sentinel stomped his foot. So here we have it. The Catachan Devils now moving on up. These guys are great anti-infantry kind of special forces. You can see them firing away with their shotguns. Oh, and look at that, taking a little bit of damage, getting knocked back, just kind of covering their retreat. Those grenades doing a good amount of damage there. And the Sentinel charging on up once again. Oh, a Doom Bolt coming out of the Chaos Sorcerer right now. That's one of his starting abilities. He fires a Doom Bolt, does quite a good amount of damage. Just, again, trying to cover his retreat because these Catachan Devils want blood. So let's take a look around the map right now and see what's going on. On the southern side, the Lord General is capping this victory point, doing a pretty good job at that. On the left-hand side, he does have another victory point, so it is now 2-1. Ooh, and right as I was looking at that northern victory point, I saw that Cash and Devil squad get slammed in the face by a Doom Bolt out of that Chaos Sorcerer. So Chaos Sorcerer is a very interesting hero. I guess he's technically kind of a support hero, but he's just good in his own right. I mean, he has a lot of interesting spells, a lot of interesting chaotic abilities and whatnot. I believe he follows the Tenzich god. I forget how exactly you pronounce that, and again, I'm not completely fluent in Warhammer lore, but it's a very classy kind of sexy allure and deception kind of god. So that's why he has the infiltrate ability when his guys are worshipping and whatnot. So again, you can see the Chaos Sorcerer right now is just kind of getting engaged in some combat, just kind of a little bit of light footsie being played. And there we have it. And definitely the double Chaos Heretics with the grenades was a great choice early game, because having those grenades really good against these kind of light infantry squads and whatnot. So right now, a little bit of a breather in the action here. It looks like Caeltos taking this time to upgrade to tier 2, and right away having the exact same thought, BC is upgrading to tier 2 as well. So I feel like we're watching a completely different player this time. I think perhaps he underestimated the community. Perhaps he thought that, oh, you know, just a bunch of random pub game guys, you know, no problem, I'll just play Space Marines. And now, of course, everything's on the line. So we're getting some slightly more sophisticated Imperial Guard play out of him. You can see those grenades being really useful right now. Note, by the way, that this Chaos Heretic squad in the center has been upgraded. It looks like, were both of them? Yes, both of them have been upgraded to have an Aspiring Champion, which is, you know, again, like a Sergeant kind of hero. Adds another model, makes them a little tougher. Oh, and you can see that grenade shot once again, kind of going over the terrain and doing a little bit of damage here. And just kind of positioning around. I really like this use, this persistent use of worship in order to grant that little bit of oh no! Despite all of that happening, despite all of me talking about his use of that ability, it looks like the Chaos Sorcerer has been taken out. Wow, and there we have it right now. Another little grenade blast coming on out of here. These guys taking a ton of damage right now. Catachan Devils moving on in, putting in some serious suppressing fire down right now. And man, these Chaos Heretics retreating away. So kind of a surprise turn of events there. I kind of thought that, you know, I thought Caeltos was doing a little bit better there. But hey, man, we've got all sorts of stuff up right here. On the northern side, you can see a Guardsman squad advancing down the top. He has been upgraded to have a Flamer. That's pretty good right now, because what's happening is that he is challenging Caeltos' power supply right now. By upgrading to the Flamethrower, much like in Company of Heroes, Flame does extra damage to buildings. So he's coming here with the sole purpose of destroying power, disrupting power, that sort of thing. However, it looks like the Chaos Sorcerer is well aware of this. Charging on in, he has been upgraded for the Rod of Warp Fire, which basically grants him the Warp Fire ability, which is what we just saw him use right there very effectively, knocking down and destroying what looked like at least 4 models of that Guardsman infantry squad right there. So, meanwhile, on the southern side, you can see that this Sentinel is just kind of prowling around that victory point there. Nothing too much going on. I'm going to look back at this Chaos Sorcerer here up north and just investigate that. Oh, and check it out. He was standing on basically what was a booby trap. It was some demolitions explosives there, but not terribly effective against the commander. Just kind of a little bit of a surprise. Doing a little bit of extra damage there. But Chaos Sorcerer upgraded with the Rod of Warp Fire. Again, for anyone new to this game, you can upgrade your heroes with particular weapons that give them new spells and boost their in-game abilities, like how much health they have, that sort of thing. So that's what's going on there. You can see these Chaos Space Marines right now. We're just kind of deeply engaged. The Catachan Devils moving on out. And oh, once again, that huge blast just knocking back all these Chaos Heretics. Trying their best to kind of suppress these Catachan Devils. Not suppress, technically speaking, but, you know, hit them with all their hand grenades.